Hi everyone, my name is Eonnah Mckenzie. I am a licensed real estate agent, but that doesn't mean I only work with sellers and buyers. I also work with renters. The agents don't only work with buyers and sellers, we also work with renters as well. It's a good stepping stone to become a buyer someday anyways. This video is for people who are looking to rent but don't know the process of what it looks like working with a real estate agent. I wanted to bridge the gap in between knowledge and not knowing what it looks like and what it's actually like. It can be an easier process if you know what you're getting into beforehand. Working primarily out of Jersey City, New Jersey, there are a lot of people who are unaware of, oh, I saw this apartment, it's gorgeous, I'm gonna reach out to this listing agent. But before you do that, there are certain things that you should know prior to asking for an application and wanting to apply. So to make things easier, I wanted to share what I share with renters before we decide to rent. So you're ready to move and you don't know really get started, so you just type in Google how to find an apartment, and first thing you see is Zillow and Realtor.com and Redfin, all those websites that have listed. But one of the benefits of working with a real estate agent, we have the MLS, which sometimes can have private listings, off market, or just maybe some that the agent specifically chose to only list in that county's MLS. So it is good to work with an agent for those reasons, so that you can maybe see something that you might not see on Realtor.com or Zillow. The MLS information majority of the time does get pulled to Realtor.com and Zillow and things that a lot of them have those integrated systems where they do pull the same information, but some are MLS specific. So just in case you're looking for something super unique or more of a niche kind of apartment, or you have some criteria that's not really on Realtor.com or Zillow, it's good to work with an agent to help you find that specific MLS. Create your list of non-negotiables, so that's already out the way before you even start looking. Are you commuting to the city? Do you need to be close to the city so that you can take the PATH train, for example? Because I work out of Jersey City, that's our train service. Once you have those list of non-negotiables, be realistic with your budget. I know we would all love to have a penthouse for $1,200. Who doesn't want to spend $1,000 on a penthouse? I love that idea. I love that for all of us. But we have to be realistic that the more amenities, the more space, the more square footage, the higher the ceilings, you're going to be paying for a premium, which means your rent's going to be a little bit more expensive. There are budget-friendly rentals that may check all those things that you're asking for, but just know paying for premium amenities and rooftop gyms and all those things, they come for a price, so just be aware of that. Like I mentioned, we will help you find an apartment for you once you have that criteria of non-negotiables and a realistic budget of what you can afford, which is typically 3-to-1 ratio. So what the 3-to-1 ratio pretty much is, whatever your rental amount is, if it's $1,200 for the month, $1,200, you should probably make somewhere around $3,600 for the month to be able to afford that rent. That's the criteria that a lot of landlords and management companies go based off of. So you have your realistic budget, you have your criteria, you have the agent that you're gonna work for. They send you a list of apartments and say, hey, we're gonna see these 3 for today. What do you think about all those? Oh, you love all of them. After you go on the tours and you see the apartments, you do find one that you absolutely love and you want to apply to it, you're ready to move in 2 weeks, checks all the boxes, you're good to go. Now what? So now majority of agents have their own application that we'll send you, something called an NTN application. That is going to be your credit and background check. That's primarily what my county uses. $40 application fee that is going to check your credit, background, and income based off of the information that you provide. It's important to know where you stand in those 3 different areas so that your chances of getting approved are a lot easier. So credit. If we're going to be realistic, at our day and age, everyone should know what their credit score is. Unfortunately, we live in an era where there's a score that determines how you pay your bills and are you responsible with your money. The same thing applies when it comes to apartments. That's the way that we check to see how are you handling your money responsibly. So having a good credit score makes it an even better chance for you to get the exact apartment that you want. I would say on average, in my experience, a 620 or higher. 650 is the sweet spot. Anything over that is even better, but I would say a minimum of like 620. If you're on the lower side and you're looking to rent, I would definitely recommend Repair. There are so many different websites or ways that you can repair your credit score nowadays, but because credit can be a heavy determining factor when renting the apartment that you want, I would advise just making sure you're in a good standing of at least 620 or higher. Along with your background credit and income verification, you're also going to need to provide some type of valid ID, a passport, a license. Once you have your ID, you then want to gather your pay stubs. You are bi-weekly, weekly. They want to see that to make sure that you are making the income to be able to afford this apartment, and big statements, and just prepared to have that because you're going to need that once you're picking an apartment that you like. Okay, so you start the application, you have a 670 credit score, background's clear, you never got into any trouble. Now you're filling out the application and you're done. So what comes next? Are fees. I don't think a lot of people know there are fees with moving into an apartment. You have your first month's rent, obviously. If you're moving in on the 5th, then of course you would be prorated for the days that you aren't there, but typically you're paying your first month's rent full. That's a no-brainer. Secondly is going to be your security deposit. Your security deposits are mandatory. Sometimes they will use security deposits to cover gaps, or if you destroy their property, that's what the security deposit is used for, to cover expenses. Maybe if there's a gap or something happened in the apartment, they can use that money. It's like a down payment pretty much, just to say, hey, I plan on using your space for X amount of months. I'm going to take care of it. Now, when you move out, say in 12 months, your lease is ending and you're ready to go, you don't plan on staying, the security deposit will be returned to you within 30 days of you vacating. Some landlords give it right away, others use to the full 30 days, but they do have till 30 days to return it. So you have your first month's rent, security deposit, and thirdly is the broker's fee. Broker's fee is going towards your real estate agent and their brokerage, and sometimes the listing agent as well if it's not that agent's listing. The good thing about the broker's fee is that some landlords do offer to pay it, so that's something that you would want to mention to your real estate agent, that maybe you don't have a third chunk of funds and you would like options of where the landlord pays the fee. I do have to be honest, they are a dig sometimes to find them with every other criteria that you do have, but they are out there. So there's 3 options usually. There's fully paid broker fee, half paid, and then tenant is responsible, which will ultimately be you. Now you're looking at full moving costs for moving in. Everyone has dues. So in order to move into an apartment, you want to make sure that you have 3 times that rental amount. Your rental is $1,000, which is unheard of. And that's $3,000 to move into an apartment ultimately. Application is approved, credit and background came back good, all your move-in fees are paid. The agent will then go back with the landlord and we'll discuss your paperwork, make sure that you have things like your pay stubs, your license, bank statements if you're self-employed. All those things go into a packet with your application and all of your payments. Next step will be to move in. I hope that kind of clarifies the rental process. I really just wanted to share this with renters who may be renting for the first time, or maybe someone that's been renting for 10, 15 years and isn't aware of what the process looks like today. It can be an easier one if you have a great real estate agent. The process can be a little bit daunting sometimes. Inventory is low all around. It's just really important to work with someone that really knows the market and can help you find exactly what you're looking for, but don't get discouraged. It's definitely up there. Like I mentioned, guys, my name's Eonnah Mckenzie. Thank you guys for listening. I hope this was an informative session about what the rental process looks like working with an agent. So if you have any questions or comments, you can comment on my page. I'm open to answering any questions you guys may have. Until next time, I definitely want to get on here more. I believe that real estate is knowledge, and the more knowledge you have, the more chances you are to get exactly what you want. So this isn't bye, this is I'll see you on the next tour. Bye guys, have a great rest of your day.